Hey guys, so we're here today with Rhys Howden from Australia. Rhys, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, hey guys. Obviously Rhys Howden, just from Brizzy, Queensland in Australia. Um, yeah, play water polo obviously for the Aussie Sharks. Lucky enough or fortunate enough to have gone to three Olympic Games so far, and working for hopefully Tokyo next year if it obviously if it still goes ahead.
Of course. And first of all, then, how are you keeping fit then during the pandemic at this time?
Yeah, obviously can't get into the pools because they're all closed, and I'm a little bit too far from the beach. But my neighbour's got a home gym, and just doing a few workouts with him and a few runs, and he's also got a rowing machine as well. So just doing what you can to sort of keep fit, I suppose, and that's all you can do.
Are you guys getting anything from national squads or your home club back home in Australia?
Yeah, like all the coaches are obviously in close contact, and obviously making sure we're not sitting on our asses doing nothing. So they have set a few programs and things they would like us to try and do in this time. But sometimes it is a bit hard with motivation, especially when you're on your own trying to do it. But if you can find a teammate that's close by, or in my circumstance, or my next door neighbour, you can sort of work with each other and get some exercise done.
That's an interesting point there you mentioned about kind of motivation. I'm sure there's a lot of people at home struggling with motivation. Is there any key tips you can give to find motivation that you found yourself?
Oh, I don't know. I think just being an athlete anyway, motivation normally isn't a hard thing to, I suppose, not achieve. You're always sort of motivated to do something, and most athletes, if you sit around for too long, you get pretty bored. So finding an outlet to do some sort of exercise, you know, the motivation is there. I suppose sometimes it's nice to have a little bit more of a rest, but I mean, yeah, I'll get batshit crazy if I do
Yeah,
nothing. So.
yeah. And then take you back to your early water polo days. How did you start?
Oh God. So I actually grew up playing basically all different sports, anything I could do. I remember my parents telling me when I was a young kid, I always had a ball in my hand, so I was destined to play a ball sport. But yeah, I played rugby union. I think when I was five, up until about sort of high school days. And water polo sort of came along when I was around 12, 13, and my father actually was captain of Great Britain back in his day. So when he
Okay.
moved out, yeah, when he moved out to Australia, he'd take us down to our local team, the Brisbane Barracudas, and my brother, my sister, and myself, watch the high level water polo in Queensland at the time. And after the games, we'd jump in and throw the ball around. And I wasn't too interested in polo actually. I love my rugby, and then all the parents would give my old man a hard time and be like, why aren't they playing? They can throw a ball all right. So that next season, the old man basically chucked me in the water. Uh, I absolutely hated it. I thought it was the worst thing ever. I was getting drowned by everyone else. The pool was cold. I was like, what is this? What is this sport? And to this day, I still don't know, why I stuck to it, but I did, and obviously very, very thankful that I did. I've achieved quite a bit, so it's yeah, been pretty good.
So then how did you go from not enjoying it, as you said, to becoming a three-time Olympian?
I don't know. I think it's sort of like what I said before. Just being a young athlete, you just sort of take your opportunities, and water polo was just this different type of sport, and I think just gradually I just started to enjoy it. Um, And I think when I was 16, I had to I was at a bit of a crossroads whether to follow rugby union or go down the water polo path. And I think at the time my water polo skills and things like that I think were a little bit better than where I was at rugby. And I got a few opportunities in water polo, and I ran with them. And like I said, very, very fortunate, and to have done 3 Olympics so far. So it is what it is. I suppose it's just when I was younger, you just take your opportunities.
And then you've been to 3 Olympics. Would one of them in particular stand out as your favourite tournament, or even another tournament like the World Champs?
Oh, I mean, all tournaments are always fun, because obviously you're playing games and at high levels, against fantastic opposition and teams from around the world. So, I reckon every tournament I've played in, I've thoroughly enjoyed, every single one of them. As you said though, Olympics is just a different beast in itself, and it's the pinnacle of the sport, and to have done those. And my favourite one though, my first one was obviously Beijing, and you never sort of forget your first one. But I think my favourite would have been the London Olympics. Probably more so for the fact that my background's English. Both mum and dad are from London. All my relatives all live there, and I'm the firstborn in Australia in my family. So to be able to go over and play in front of, I think, a game against Croatia, I think my dad managed to get 20 tickets or something. And after the game, I went out the back and I had cousins, uncles, aunties, grandparents. So that was sort of a special moment to sort of go out after one of the games and just see, family and friends that I don't normally, get to see all the time, to, that were there to cheer me on. It was kind of a special time. And, I was happy that I could put on a bit of a show for them, and they could see, all the hard work and what I do. So, I think London definitely would have, was probably my favourite tournament.
And is there any venue across the world that you've played at and you love playing there, and maybe would love to play again one day?
Oh, geez, that's hard. I mean, a lot of the European countries are pretty fun to play in. Especially in summer in the outdoor pools, with some of the crowds you get. I don't know if I have a favourite. I did play in Spain for a season with Barcelona for about 10 months, back in, I think, 2009, I think it was. And just before it got cold, we trained in a few outdoor pools, and obviously with a few junior and senior teams have played up in one up on, I think what Olympics was it? I can't remember what Olympics it was. We played in the outdoor pool up on the mountain. That was quite a nice venue, overlooking the city and things like that. So, hard to say a favourite. I mean, there's a lot around the world that are pretty cool. So, yeah.
You only played in Europe, or is that the only season you played in Europe?
Yeah, I only did the one season for Barcelona. Obviously, a fantastic opportunity. Played with another Aussie, Richie Campbell, who I'm still currently playing with now. So him and I have sort of done quite a bit together. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and obviously learnt a lot. Completely different to here in Australia. Over there it's professional. Here in Australia it's still amateur. So here we get up at 5 a.m. to go to training, and then go to work all day, then get back to training. Whereas over there it was, waking up at 9, 10 o'clock, going to training, around midday, and having a siesta, then doing a night session. It was just a completely different environment. And you can see why a lot of people play for a lot longer, I suppose, over in Europe, and people want to go over and play there, because it's just like a perfect breeding ground and training environment for athletes and players to develop their water polo.
Were you ever tempted to go over for longer? A couple more seasons, maybe?
Looking back, I probably wished I'd maybe stayed another 1 or 2 more seasons. I mean, yeah, in hindsight, and hindsight's a funny thing, but I've been lucky enough to go play in Brazil for Pinheiros as well, in Sao Paulo. We actually won the league, which was pretty cool, and also won the league in Japan. I think that was a year or 2 ago with Kashiwazaki. So, I've had my opportunities and played in a few different teams around the world, but Spain was like the longer season, the sort of 10 month, whereas the other ones were sort of a month, couple of weeks, get in, play a few of the finals and get home. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun though, a lot of fun.
Is there any advice you'd give to young players to do currently in this pandemic anyway?
Oh, currently, I mean, yeah, obviously it's very difficult, but I mean, what I'd say, just as much as you can, try and get outdoors and just do a bit of exercise. Even if you're sitting at home and have a water polo ball or a ball in your hand, just to throw it around, throw it on and off the wall. Just, a few little things that you probably wouldn't normally do if you went to training or, something like that. But I know when I was a young kid, a few of our coaches gave us an old water polo ball that before and after sessions we had to, left and right, up and around the wall, just to get that hand-eye coordination and things like that, and wrist control and accuracy on the wall. So, if you've got a ball, just start bouncing it on the wall and doing a few drills. There's heaps of things on YouTube that you can and different training techniques and shooting and throwing things that you can definitely look up and practice. In isolation, and when you think you can't do much, there is actually quite a lot out there that you can do at home.
A lot of people have said this is actually an opportunity for people to learn by watching games. Is there any games you have in mind that would be a good games to watch for kids?
All of mine. No. That's hard. I mean, just get on YouTube and flick through. I know sort of the last maybe or 5 or so years, there's a few like Spanish sites that have put on YouTube like full games of world champs, and I know people have done a lot of cuts and edits of best goals from Olympics and things like that. So I mean, like you said, just get on the internet, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever it is, and just watch any games. It doesn't have to be specific stuff. Most of the stuff that's on there is pretty good high quality games, whether it's Euro champs or world champs, Olympics. So a lot of the like I said, a lot of the games on there are very high quality, and you'll definitely learn a lot by watching.
Rhys, thank you very much for your time today. We really appreciate it, and we hope everyone back home in Australia is safe with you.
Yeah, no, too easy. No, I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.